the People's Democratic Party, because the second one is still ongoing. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mojid Jamiu. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with insecurity. Boko Haram insurgents have killed 10 farmers and abducted several others in Mafa local government area of the states. The terrorists attacked farms in search of food and killed 10 farmers who said they couldn't afford the money they requested. They also went away with 4 farmers to ensure that no one is left behind to report the operations to security agents. Jide, I thought we've seen the best of Boko Haram.
Certainly not. And you know, as we always say on this program, there is no reason in the world to relax, to convince ourselves that, oh, the battle has been won. Therefore, we should start the precautions that we used to take. We should relax. No. Terrorists are never defeated in that manner. If you want to defeat terrorists, you must crush them. Crush them as in making sure that, look, to the last man.
Foundation.
No mercy.
All of the stories that we hear that terrorism has never been defeated is a lie. I was arguing with a retired army officer, and I told him, I gave him instances in which terrorists were defeated, hands down, even to the last man. That was what happened in Sri Lanka with the Tamil Tigers. They defeated them, they crushed them totally. They also crushed them in Algeria. When the Muslim Brotherhood won election and they refused to let them take power, they resorted to terrorism and they started slashing journalists' throat and all that. Full-blown terrorists. And they engaged the state. Of course, the military in Algeria crushed them. So they should not tell us that there is nowhere in the world where a terrorist group has been defeated. That is not right. It flies in the face of facts. And that's why Obasanjo, the former president, even suggested that we should try to learn from Sri Lanka. How did they do it? Of course, they fought for 25 years.
25.
I have to add that, yes.
We've been with this since 2009.
Now, Boko Haram terrorists are surrendering. We are jubilant that people are surrendering, but some of those who are surrendering are in fact going back into the bush. Yes, there's an escalation in Boko Haram attacks in Borno now. Within the last few weeks, we are seeing an escalation in the Goza area, where Senator Aliun Dume comes from. They killed a serving police officer on his farm in Aliun Dume's hometown of Ambagda. For so long, Ambagda, nobody could go there. Even the senator, they didn't know how to go home. Preferred to stay in Goza. He didn't go to his ancestral home. But because they sense that, okay, there is improvement, people are beginning to go to their farms a lot more than they were going before. And these guys are going into people's farms to kill them and telling others not to bother to go and harvest their crops. And when you are too afraid to harvest your crops, they will go, they need food to stock up on their supplies, they will go into those farms and harvest your crops. The whole year's hard work gone to Boko Haram. Now, what the army usually does is people traveling from Borno State to Adamawa State, traveling from Damboa all the way to Laminkara, you know, where we have the Nigerian police mobile force training facility. You know, they used to train mobile policemen in Laminkara, and they will be climbing the Goza mountains as a test of their endurance. Nobody climbs Mandara mountains anymore because it's a no-go area. That's the base of Boko Haram. but they still conduct training in Laminkara. Now, the convoy, sometimes more than 100 vehicles, the army leads them across those communities so that the people can go and trade in as far as Adamawa State, going through Askira Uba to Adamawa to trade. These guys ambushed the convoy. It was in that process that they killed some soldiers, set ablaze patrol vans, including even what was it called, tricycles, and then took some people, abducted some people, and set ablaze those vehicles. A lot of civilians are unaccounted for now because some are believed to have died in the fire. You can see that Senator Ndume has already confirmed that the killing took place. And he also complained that these killings are becoming regular now. That is where I found it really disturbing. Last night, Boko Haram launched an attack on Goza. You know, these were things that they were not doing before that make us felt that, look, these guys are defeated people. They launched an attack on Goza. Nigerian army responded with heavy artillery to repel them and ensure that they didn't get into the town. Before now, the people went to Emir of Goza, they went to his palace to protest that they cannot enter their farms anymore. And you know who is being blamed for this. Yeah, there is a 24-year-old Boko Haram commander, repented Boko Haram commander, who repented originally by the name Yega Balu. This Yega Balu got married recently. You know, when our people receive them, they make them happy. They even married a woman to him. After that, he took weapons and grenades, went back into the bush. And he has been killing people since he went back into the bush. It is believed that this particular attack was masterminded by him. So we've got to be careful. The people that we are calling repented Boko Haram, you saw yesterday we discussed the case of one of them who killed his former wife. Somebody that had been divorced to you, you lied to her, made her to come to the farm, and then you slaughtered her. So a lot of these guys cannot be trusted. Our people are worried that this escalation of attacks, they are blaming it on some of these boys who have chosen now to go back to their old ways.
So, MJ, summarizing it all, we can say that it was a wrong move to contemplate to even rehabilitate these guys instead of prosecuting them. A lot of people call for their prosecution, that federal government should not do anything in rehabilitating them or training them to become anything. Now, I think the thing is counterproductive now.
Yes, I think that strategy has failed, as we can see. And I think the Tinubu administration should review the amnesty for repentant so-called repentant Boko Haram activists. Like, I mean, they kept going back to their trade. So those who have tasted blood, it's like a lion or a tiger that has tasted human blood. I mean, there is no way you have to kill that lion or tiger, or else you continue to look for human blood. So these guys, I don't know how repentant they could be. It was a wrong move in the first instance. Wrong move for us to, there has been an increase in the activities. They are involved in kidnapping now, serious kidnapping, abduction. Look at what happened to the youth corpers, and now in another occasion they went inside a university campus. So it is, I believe it is this so-called, because see, the thing is, when you say they are repentant and you reabsorb them back to the community, they are used to free money. The moment they don't get free money again, and there is no amount of money that you want to pay them, probably 50,000 per month, it's not okay for them. So they believe that if they kidnap people, and the ransoms they've been taking in millions, and you are now paying them, you say they are repentant, you are paying them 50,000 naira in a month or thereabouts. I mean, so it's better they are dealt with totally. That's why some states of the Federation has the death penalty for those who are involved in kidnapping and abduction. It's a heinous crime that should be treated with that kind of levity. And that is the only way it could serve as a deterrent to others, that when you are caught in this thing, there is no room for any amnesty. They should be summarily dealt with so that they can continue to reduce the number. Look at the way they have been killing our soldiers. You know how much the federal government and the Nigerian army spends in training one soldier for them to be killed, serving their fatherland, escorting people to the farm. Now, what they also do, like Jide said earlier, they will warn you not to come to your farm. If you dare go there, and this is harvesting time, if you dare go there to harvest, if they catch you, they are going to slaughter you. And the way they kill them, in fact, the very gruesome murder, in a very gruesome manner. They said they will start cutting them, making them suffer before they finally slaughter them. Very
they don't like because the sound
wicked and heartless human beings.
Gunshot will
attract the army. Yeah.
Once they catch people,
they slaughter. Now they slaughter.
They don't want to make any noise using
the guns.
When the army sometimes take the battle to them, like it happened in this Goza area some days back, the people protested that they wanted the army to take the battle to these people. They took the battle to them. They have now responded in this way.
Yeah.
Boko Haram has this attitude of, when you take the battle to them, they find a way.
They'll relax to retaliate. Yeah.
Now they've retaliated on innocent civilians. Because these are people need to move from place to place. To trade. Those areas are centers of commerce from several centuries.
Way back, yeah.
So you cannot expect people to not move from place to place. Pulka to Goza, for example, is just 22 kilometers.
I imagine.
But you need escorts to move you, to escort you to those places, So the army has been doing that for so long. But these people need to be able to move to those places to trade. And what we have is a situation in which these guys now go and wait for them, ambush the convoy. What they usually do is they will attack it in the middle.
Yeah.
Once they attack it in the middle, the entire convoy is scatters, and people will flee in different directions. In fact, this attack in which they killed 11 persons, it happened on Saturday. Some of the people managed to escape, slept in the bush. Wow. It was on Sunday that they went back home.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time. In recent time, there was another attack that was launched on another convoy. I think that happened last month. On another convoy of traders and other people moving
similar approach.
There was even a Dangote truck loaded with cement. They set the truck ablaze.
So whatever program the federal government might have put in place to de-radicalize these people seem not to be working.
There are bad eggs. You see, I don't want to generalize, but whether we like it or not, whether the authorities admit it or not, there are bad eggs among these people that we are calling repentant Boko Haram. And those bad eggs, we are seeing them now. Because when you have so much confidence that you start treating them like civilian JTF, that's dangerous.
Very, very dangerous.
You invest confidence in them. They know about troops movement. And you have no evidence that they have totally given up what they were doing. That's what people are saying. This Yega Balu, Everybody in the Goza area knows this guy, a former commander of Boko Haram.
Yeah,
Now he's gone back.
Young guy.
yeah,
Yes,
and
24.
just 24 years.
And he's gone back now. He's killing people. I learned that he even warned he sent a message that even the emir should not come to his farm.
Just like Toji in the Samvara axis. He's also young. I think that one is just about 29 or 30 or thereabouts. So, and another thing, Senator Aliundime, another issue that Senator Aliundime raised is that the youth of that area should live up to their responsibility by coming out to point at those, to identify those people, by giving information on their activities. Because these guys come to town, like this Yagabalu comes to town, move around, buy things, spend some money, and go back into the bush. And this is a so-called repentant Boko Haram terrorist.
I think it was even Senator Aliundime who told us about one of these so-called repentant boys who went, slaughtered his own father, and stole his cattle.
His own father.
Yes.
Yeah.
He stole his cattle. It was
They don't care.
People, these boys,
They
they had been used to taking drugs and all that. There is these sort of things, to get it out of the system is not easy. Suddenly, we just have that itch to kill.
Yeah.
And when that extraordinary itch to kill envelopes him, he starts looking for any little trigger, like
any little provocation.
Take people's life.
And the moment they start with one person, there is no stopping them. And they see people being killed every day in the bush, and those they kidnap and abduct. So it doesn't really, life doesn't really matter to them any longer. So I mean, it's high time the federal government took a very drastic step.
This to tell you how unpredictable the Boko Haram insurgency is. This Mafa where they killed farmers. I was there less than 2 weeks ago. In fact, we are yet to run the story that I brought there. I was in those farms by the side of the road in Mafa. That is the governor's adopted hometown. That's where he grew up. He's not originally from Mafa. He's from Zulum in Monguno local government. But Mafa is where he grew up. He's adopted it like his hometown. And he has tried to develop the area. There are good farming settlements there. I visited those farming settlements. I interviewed farmers. I saw farmers that the governor provided vehicles to be taking them to their farms. That is the place where they've gone now to kill people. So it's a very unpredictable. If you are lucky, you visit some places. That doesn't mean that there is no crisis anymore, or that you should be relaxed. You believe that the battle has been won. This Mafa, I'm telling you, you will see the story that I brought from there. And that's where they just killed farmers. So the war, we must tell ourselves that this war has not been won. These guys are still very much around, and they are dangerous. Many local governments in Borno State, as we speak, is only the state capitals alone that you have. I mean, the local government headquarters alone that you have people living in. Why shouldn't people live in their ancestral homes if those places are safe? So we have to tell ourselves the truth that the battle, we still have a long way to exterminating these people, to defeating them hands down. Because for now, what we've seen in Mafa is not far. It's not far from the state capital. Mafa should be maybe around 30 kilometers or so to the state capital. So we have to continue, let's continue to encourage the armed forces to step up their activities and deal decisively with these people, because the truth is there is still a lot to be done.
All right. On that note, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this.
TerraQ, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
I need something we go ginger me. We tom I dey breathe for it now. I dey run kilometers. That's why I dey come.
Thank you for staying with us. Another fire disaster struck a government establishment in Abuja. This time, the Supreme Court, the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, command of the Nigerian police said officials are investigating the cause of the fire incident at the Supreme Court. The command said 2 chambers belonging to 2 judges were affected by the fire. Julie, what is this? We are expecting the verdicts of the Supreme Court or the proceeding to have started, and in the next 60 days, expecting that they will give us verdicts. This kind of fire.
This will not get in the way. There are people who sit on social media exaggerating what has happened, saying that it could affect the case. I mean, people should stop being ridiculous. This is just a small, So people have not seen the Supreme Court building before, the Supreme Court complex. It's such a big place, and it's just a small area that is affected. You know, the office of Judge Justice Ailawa and 2 other offices. There's no way that will stop the dispensation of justice by the most superior court in our country. So it has nothing to do with the cases before the court or an attempt by some people to sabotage the court. Yes, so those who want to put their eyes on the Supreme Court, they are free to put their eyes
all
on the
eyes
Supreme Court. They can even narrow the thing down to Supreme Court now. So before it was all eyes on judiciary. It can now be all eyes on Supreme Court. There is no, it leads to nowhere. It leads to nowhere. It's like being blindfolded and being dropped by paratroopers in a valley. You look to your right, you look to your left, you'll be wondering, where is this? Where do I go from here? You don't even know the location. So the attempt to blackmail the judiciary will lead nowhere. Will lead nowhere. Strive to win your case by providing
on the field
solid evidence about the matter before the court, not use social media to intimidate judges. I know that investigation is still on about the source of fire. Even we too, we've had little fires around here, even in our office in Abuja. So anything can happen. Electrical appliance, even if it's new, can suddenly get very hot. And when it gets hot, it can trigger an explosion and then a fire incident. But it also underlines the fact that we have to invest in technology that snuffs out fire quickly, that sucks out the oxygen and ensures that fire does not spread. It's such a key building to us as a nation that there's no reason why we cannot put such technology in the place
And I
beyond.
hope the judiciary would have embraced technology so that all their cases and everything maybe to be on one
Of
cloud.
course, yes, of course.
Doesn't have to.
No, even it's a bit the matter that they are talking about emanated from the
appeal court.
So all of those facts are intact.
Yeah.
People are just.
It's only copies that they will bring to the Supreme Court, not.
It's emanated from the appeal court, so it's intact. Nothing will happen to. There is no from the facts that we got. Even Atiku's case is not affected. I mean, the papers, the court papers are not affected because the area affected is not where such documents are kept. So we just hope that by tomorrow we'll have more facts about what actually led to that fire.
What the registrar of the Supreme Court said in a press conference just as we are about entering the studio, Dr. Festus Akonde, is that, but contrary to the fact that we thought it affected 2 chambers, he said it's just 1 chamber, and that the fire started around 7:30 a.m. when staff of the Supreme Court were already on ground, and that within 1 hour they were able to use the fire extinguishers and fire blankets in the premises of the Supreme Court to extinguish the fire, even before the fire men came from outside, and that only books which are replaceable were involved in the fire. I mean, I'm quoting Dr. Festus Akonde now, that's the spokesperson of this. So, I mean, he said he was also surprised that some people already went on social media that it's the case of, the documents affecting Peter Obi that they have set on fire. He said, just 1 chamber of a judge. And he said, there is even an e-library that, could serve the purpose of the hard copies of those books that got destroyed, and some computers. And he said the computers are all linked, and you can retrieve whatever got destroyed in that particular computer from other computers. I know we're talking about interconnectivity in the appeal court. He said they have interconnectivity at the Supreme Court, and that this will have little or nothing to do with the presidential election, with the appeal that is coming to the Supreme Court. He said that's nothing to do with it, and that by tomorrow they will be able to give more details on the. He said, but this fire was put out before 9 a.m. and it started at 7:30. So he said there is no cause for alarm, and that's only 1 chamber. That's in his own voice. I mean, it was a video that he was doing a video press conference. So why Nigerians will just start assuming even when there is no fire, they will see smoke. When there is no smoke, they will see fire. So I don't just understand people would go on social media and be peddling blatant lies, not even rumors.
You know, there is one video of one young girl, one little girl, being flogged on her buttocks.
Yeah, they said it's a marriage.
Suddenly, it's an old video, but now people are sending it to me and saying somewhere in Zamfara. And the language being spoken is not Nigerian language. I mean, how many people, even some people that I expect to be so discerning, they are among people sending it to me. That
they will ask you, they will ask you, is this true in Zamfara?
The language is not Nigerian language. People should be able to figure it out that this is not Nigerian. They just want to show those people in Zamfara as primitive people, wicked people, and all that. How can they be flogging a young girl? I think that girl should be like between 9 to 11 years.
Yeah, between 9 and 11,
you know?
Yeah.
That why should this be happening in our country? Yes, it didn't happen in our country. This is an old video that a mischievous individual just dusted it up and just
started
put the caption
it
somewhere in Zamfara. No. It's not, so
There was even no evidence that the girl was married and ran out of the marriage to want to go and pick her school. Because the way they captioned it was that the lady was married to a teenage marriage, and she ran out of the marriage, wanted to go back to school. I mean, to make it so sentimental. Well, we are not saying such things don't happen.
The first time the video began to trend, that was the story that we had, that she didn't want to be in that forced marriage, and she tried to opt out, and then they brought her, they got hold of her, beat her severely so that she would not do it again. But this time around, they are even claiming that it's Zamfara. It's not. It's not Nigerian video. It didn't happen here.
That language doesn't sound like Nigerian language.
I think that the fire in the Supreme Court is something that should teach us a lesson. If the fire lasted more than an hour, it is bad enough. It is bad enough. We should have equipment on ground beyond the technology that I spoke about earlier, that can be installed in a company that sucks out oxygen.
Yeah, and like
it ensures that the fire will not spread.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
Then there should be
that we can't.
There should also be what is it called?
Sprinkler systems.
The firefighters on ground.
Yes.
Whether the possibility of fire is high or is not high, it should not be only in places where there is high probability of fire incidents that you will put these people. Okay, this has happened. Whether we like it or not, it's an embarrassment that it lasted that long. We are lucky that, okay, it happened in a place where it can be localized and curtailed. Yeah. But the time that it took, if we had fire fighting equipment, firefighters on ground, definitely it wouldn't have taken that long. We've seen fire put out within 20 minutes.
Yes.
It all boils down to what's it called? Anticipation, preparation, what you have on ground. The rapid response. That is what matters the most. So what if it was in the, what is it called? It was in the library, the Supreme Court library, that it happened. You know how much we will have lost. Because the scale of that fire is not small. Despite the fact that, it's just the office of one judge and a few offices. So we should be prepared in case this happens again. Yeah, we will be able to nip it in the bud.
And I'm also, where the Supreme Court is located is the 3 arms zone, where you have the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. So there should be a quick response of a firefighter in less than 10 minutes in that zone. Within 10 minutes.
It shouldn't rely on
workers using extinguisher.
No.
Yeah.
So that the workers.
So I think, and the Dr. Festus Akonde was saying that there was no sprinkler system in the building because it's an old building, and there is no way they could do a makeshift sprinkler system because the building is old. And that's why they had fire extinguishers and fire blankets all around the place. But even at that, the response time, the time it took more than 1 hour. I mean, we could see the balls of fire coming out from that place, from the videos.
A lot of destruction.
Yes.
From the videos.
Yes, from the videos we saw.
I think we saw the Minister of Internal Affairs, the Federal Fire Service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something should be done. At least it's not.
We shouldn't rely even on fire.
Those big ones.
Yeah.
No.
Some people don't even have training about how to use it.
Yeah. So
you can have fire extinguisher, if you don't know how to use it.
And I think we should also thank God that it didn't happen on a weekend. It happened at a time people
were just resuming.
And they could quickly respond.
If it was weekend,
It would have been
terrible.
Terrible.
It would have been really terrible. That's why those firefighters, they need to be on ground.
Yeah.
Because fire can start anytime.
And such buildings like that, like the central bank, the mint, they should have even their own personal firefighting vehicles.
Vehicles and,
honestly.
And workers.
Workers. They should have it in such in buildings of national importance. They are national monuments.
We don't take those things seriously.
Honestly.
Why did they shut the airport in Taraba the other day? Because they didn't even have a firefighting vehicle. They said the firefighting vehicle is very costly, it's very expensive. They didn't have. How can you have a situation in which an airport
does not have a firefighter?
Yeah, so what if there is a fire? How do you respond to it? So these things happen, but they should enable us to learn from them and get us better prepared for in case it happens again. That's my submission on this.
All right. And finally, we'll take this final break. When we come back, we'll talk more.
Trading isn't just for office professionals.
Everyone wants to fly high in life.
It's for go-getters who can seize an opportunity.
And still remain a baby girl for life.
Remember when I was trying to convince you to start trading when we were in our 30s? You were almost not convinced. To still the chop life for this our old age, is sweet.
It doesn't matter where you are or what you do. You can still access the trading markets anytime. If you ask Chike, he'll have some words of advice for you.
Nah, you got shine your eye, wella.
Trading is also for the differently abled, like Turva, who have learned to overcome barriers and get empowerment through trading.
You just have to push through your limitations.
Trading is for you. At Quackle, we're excited about teaching and helping you trade.
So you can fly high and help others too.
Quackle, creating the future you deserve.
So here's the thing. Why do you do what you do? Is it because it's what you want to do? Or it's what other people expect you to do? The most important thing is to take a step every day in the direction of where you want to be. It means you're not where you want to be, but you're on the way there. Take your own bold steps with 9 Mobile.
Dial *301# to choose a data plan that works for you.
9 Mobile.
In today's world, our lifestyle, both at work and at play, depends on connectivity. Our connectivity depends on the devices that make it possible, and these devices depend on electric power. When power fails, our life shrinks, our work drops, and our joy dips. JRB Solar Energy Systems are here to ensure that we enjoy uninterruptible power, uninterruptible joy. Whether you're running a business, an institution, or just a home you return daily to rest, JRB has got you covered. No project is too big for our super digital inverters, long-lasting batteries, and efficient solar panels. Go. Dream on. Change your world. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights, and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. With JRB, the sun's gonna shine on everything you do.
On the 19th of June 2023, President Bola Tinubu appointed Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar as the 22nd Chief of the Air Staff of Nigeria. Watch the first exclusive and extensive interview by Air Marshal Abubakar as he shares his vision for the Air Force with Babajide Kolade Otitoju. The Air Chief stresses that motivation of troops through enhanced welfare is the most important element of any system.
The human being is actually the most important element in any system, and that is why we are paying a lot of attention in making sure that our personnel are highly motivated.
Praises the federal government for providing the Nigerian Air Force with modern equipment, but like Oliver Twist, he's asking for more.
Still need more equipment, more platforms, more armament, more technology.
Air Marshal Abubakar speaks on the Tucano bombers and their contributions to battlefield successes of the Air Force.
One precision weapon, call them precision kill weapons, on the Super Tucano may be as costly as maybe $100,000. So it's not on any kind of target you want to use that kind of weapon.
He is excited with the acquisition of new warplanes, which gave the Nigerian Air Force greater capacity and capability.
The AH-1 Zulu helicopter from the United States, we are acquiring 12 of them. The Trekker helicopters, we're having another 10 of that is coming from Italy. The M346, the government is acquiring 24 of them for the Nigerian Air Force.
The Air Force chief also recalls being fired at as a pilot.
In the heat of the crisis around Maiduguri, dropping supplies and troops into the Maiduguri airport, we have actually been fired at some point.
Watch the full interview on Journalists Hangout on Tuesday, the 26th of September.
Thank you for staying with us. The State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal is about now to decide who won the governorship election in Lagos State. And earlier today, we're told that the candidate of the People's Democratic Party's petition failed to sail through, affirming Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu as the governor of Lagos State. Right now, at about now, the Labour Party candidate, Bolabo Roosevelt, we hear the case is ongoing presently, and it's strange because since I've been covering election, it's strange that the runner-up, the second runner-up, so to say, we look for a way to claim victory. If you look at the statistics, Babajide Sanwo-Olu had more than 700,000 votes, and Bolabo Roosevelt of the Labour Party had more than 200,000 votes, and the People's Democratic Party, since 1999, on record, had an abysmal 60-something thousand votes.
This is their worst performance.
Yes, since 1999. And the candidates had the effort.
It says a lot about their candidates. It says a lot. It shows that Jando is terribly unpopular. He's probably popular in TV stations where he's going up and down abusing people. But they're talking about an election. You have to reach out to the people.
Yeah.
You know, he brought PDP to the level that they had never sunk to.
Honestly.
Total disrepute.
So it's the votes that they scored, that PDP scored in this election in Lagos, it shows that PDP is on the throes of death. PDP is like we're in the intensive care unit with healthcare providers not certain whether they will be able to get the patient to be stable. You know, those are the situations in which you just see that health workers will just feel well.
There could be a miracle.
Yes, only a miracle can bring this person back to life. They will try their best. Doctors will always try their best, but doctors know when they are confronted by a situation that is irredeemable. The PDP had routinely failed to do well in elections in Lagos State. But what we saw the other day with my namesake on the ballot, it had never been that terrible.
Honestly.
It had never been that terrible. I don't know. They just need to sit down again. It's similar to what happened in Kano. PDP, what PDP experienced in Lagos is similar to what they experienced in Kano.
Yeah.
In Kano, they are
as if they were not on the
non-existent, as if they were not on the ballot. In Lagos, with Jando and the actress constituting that ticket.
Where's Funke?
Was on Twitter and then
You can have a billion followers. They are not necessarily going to vote for you.
the ones on ground.
They are not necessarily going to.
I think
social media, elections are not won on social media. The people who follow you, they don't necessarily like you. Yes, they don't necessarily like you.
Just follow you.
Yes, they are following you. Some will just want to read what you have to post, and then they just go. Some of them are actually monitoring speed, so it doesn't mean that they like you. So I never imagined, if you and I had an argument about the performance or possible performance of PDP in Lagos. Yes, Jandor, you cannot deny that Jandor is a political upstart. But I couldn't have imagined that they would perform that badly. So, but again, they are in good company. Because when you recall what happened in Kano, it's very similar. It's very similar. Atiku's performance in Kano showed that the PDP is literally dead in Kano.
My question here, why would you want to go to court with that kind of performance?
Why?
That people have rejected you.
When you can see Peter Obi also came third, going to court and even noisier than the person who came second.
Wow.
Yes. Peter Obi supporters have made the most noise in the post-election season. Yet he came third. So why won't Jandor fancy his chances? Yeah, it too is. If Peter Obi can go to court and he came third, I will go to court too. But the difference between him and Peter Obi is that Peter Obi got good votes. Peter Obi won 11 states and FCT. Which local government did Jandor win in this election?
0.
0 local government.
So only won 19.
Then it's unfair to compare him to Peter Obi.
0.
They both came third, but that's where the comparison ends.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
No, it's only. I think we should qualify his third. It came a very
third.
distant third.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the comparison ends.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even feature in the same sentence because by his performance, he can't shine Obi's shoes. He can't shine Obi's shoes by his performance.
Even the candidate of Peter Obi's party in Lagos, Labour Party,
yes,
had over 200,000 votes.
Higher than him.
See, so when you want to look at it, before the election, there was meant to be this merger between the Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party, and then Jandor was claiming that he's the senior partner, that this person had a lot of litigation, that is better in any way. At the end of the day, he was taken to the cleaners. I didn't even believe that Bolabo Rosevival could perform that way.
I like Dr. Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran, a.k.a. Jandor. He's my friend. I keep advising him as a Jide, Jandor. We have tried. I think we should stop this thing. See, he scored 5.4% of the votes.
That would cost
62,449.
62,000.
62,449. Sanwo-Olu scored 762,000. So if you take 700,000 of Sanwo-Olu's vote, Sanwo-Olu still beat him. Now, Gbadebo Rosevival scored 312,000. That's 27%. Even Atiku had more votes in Lagos than Jide.
The so-called son of the soil.
Yeah, because Atiku had 75,000 votes during the presidential election. So Jide, who is son of the soil, voted in Badagry. He did not even win Badagry local government. Gbadebo won one local government.
People rejected him.
So it was 19-1-0. No single local government. He didn't make 20.
He didn't win a award. He won a award.
He didn't make 25% in, and so I don't know how.
And it's challenging the
No, I've saw clips of I've seen clips of the judgment by Justice Mikhail Abdullahi. He said, Jide, the candidate of the PDP is a busybody for challenging the result of the election, of the primary election of another party.
You don't learn.
It describes him as a busybody. Yes. Me, I now added meddlesome interloper.
That one is a much more common,
according to the
common phrase.
Yes.
According to the Supreme Court, you can't do that.
So, And this is not the first time.
You know, sometimes Supreme Court will give an order.
Yeah.
They will still, the same thing that Supreme Court ruled on, they will still file
it.
Whether they are expecting a junior court to overrule the Supreme Court, I don't understand.
So, that's why at times I wonder, and I can tell you that tomorrow morning you will see my friend Jando in either Channels or Arise saying that.
He won't come to TV.
No, he won't come. He won't come.
How did you know he won't come? He came here to say something.
Of course, and let him go. He will tell you that it's going to be supreme to the appeal court, that it's not satisfied. It will give you some technicalities. Because you went to court to say the governor does not have a WAEC certificate, that there are discrepancies. Based on that,
people would leave the substance.
If the governor does not have certificate, he has the right to challenge the governor on that. What we don't know is whether that was based on anything serious. Is that breaking news or what?
I just expect Jacinta to break the news.
Huh?
Okay, Jide, continue.
So,
okay.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay.
The super.
Happy birthday, Mr. Ayo.
We have to wait
till the People's Democratic Party, the Labour Party judgment is concluded. You know,
we have to wait.
So tomorrow will come.
We have to admit that the media was wrong in giving the impression that Sanwo-Olu,
as at now,
yes. So most of us in the media were wrong.
No, what happened was the tribunal dismissed the appeal of, or the case of the PDP candidate.
Yes.
Now it is on the Labour Party's candidate until they finish the 3-man panel. We can't say Sanwo-Olu has been affirmed. But money shows the day anyway.
No, you are not a judge.
Okay. Okay, Babajide, it's my birthday. I wanted to keep it quiet, but Honorable Remi Omawaye, former commissioner for what?
Yes,
in Osun State,
in the state of Osun.
A very kind-hearted friend insisted that I can't keep quiet, and I'm seeing Engineer Ni, seeing Kola, and everybody.
Even if you like shut down your phone, people calling you, you refuse to pick your phone. That's your problem. The whole world now knows that today is your birthday.
Yeah.
I would thank everybody.
So what are you going to do about that? Now, no. Those who are running away from by refusing to pick your call, they can see your birthday.
They are seeing you all over the world.
Thank you, Engineer Ni, Dolapo Omara. This everybody's guys, you can come, guys.
Please, you can join us. You can join us. I mean, it's a jolly good fellow.
We pray that God will give you many more years in good health, so that we can see you a lot more.
Thank you. Guys.
Happy birthday.
I'm sure Kabiyesi wants to greet you.
Oh, yeah.
Kabiyesi, your son, Ayo Zubaku, today is his birthday. Yes.
Pa Johnson, what told you there?
Yes. It's his birthday.
Okay. Thank you, Your Highness.
Thank you, Kabiyesi.
Thank you, Your Highness. We have to leave it there. Moji Jamiu, thank you. Thank you, Engineer Ni. Thank you. And BKO. So, you got it. One. Everybody there.
incredible bombs. The rise of legends in the most challenging of times. And the most unforgettable moments that kept us at the edge of our seat. Everything up till now was just the beginning. Legends go head-to-head as timelines have collapsed for the ultimate showdown. Welcome to Big Brother Niger All-Stars. Starts 23rd July. Headline sponsor, Money Point.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Are you worried about the safety and security of your home at night? Do you wish to know when intruders come close to your home? Or do you want to protect what matters to your family from anywhere at any time? What if there was a convenient, affordable way to keep surveillance on your home without having to worry about wires, installations, or heavy light bills? Introducing the incredible Sidebulb HD Cam, the robotic 360-degree two-way torque camera with action tracking technology. Sidebulb is the ultimate solution for discreet and powerful surveillance. It's so easy to install, and the app lets you rotate and view the video from your Sidebulb in real time from any smartphone. You can drop in from anywhere and check in with our two-way talk technology. Talk and listen at the same time.
Hello, Mommy.
Hey, sweetie. I'll be home soon, okay?
Sidebulb's advanced tracking technology locks onto motion and tracks in real time. Set the siren alarm to go up when motion is detected and keep intruders away.